Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to you, Mr. Chairman, and to Ranking Member Lofgren for bringing us together today. And thank you so much to our witness for being here today to talk about American leadership in science and technology through the work at the Department of Energy. Established in 1977 in response to rising prices and a growing energy crisis, the Department of Energy has long served the American people through its promotion of sound research that follows the scientific process, meaning that it does not pick winners and losers at the beginning, but instead pulls on all threads systemically to find the best answer. Earlier this year, the administration announced that energy dominance is a priority. To accomplish this, though, the Trump administration has been spending its time pulling the plug on energy projects, rearranging DOE, and on compiling and releasing reports that counter peer-reviewed scientific findings. All this is happening at a time when our energy infrastructure needs reinforcement and when we should be working to get all forms of energy on the grid. Instead, Delawareans and Americans across the country are going through their mail to find their energy bills have shot up, sometimes as much as 20%. The Department of Energy should be strengthening its commitment to research, innovation, and modernization, not sidelining the critical work and scientists who have carried that torch for decades. As we move forward, we must recommit to policies that put evidence-based decision-making and American innovation at the forefront of our energy strategy to ensure U.S. leadership in science and technology through the work at DOE. Dr. Gil, in a 2020 interview as the director of the Smarter Energy Research Institute and the director of Energy and Natural Resources at IBM Research, you stated that, quote, "We as the human community have other big challenges that science and technology can help us address, like climate change," end of quote. Earlier today, you reaffirmed that climate change is real. I agree with you. I agree with that. Today, wind and solar are among the lowest cost and fastest sources of new electricity generation available to deploy in the U.S. And DOE's own data shows that wind and solar help to keep electricity prices lower than the national average while meeting peak demand. I understand that the President's budget request was produced before your confirmation, but I want to ask you about the decision to submit a budget request that zeroes out wind and solar technology research from the department's budget. So as the department's principal advisor on science and technology, do you agree that the department should no longer support innovation in solar and wind technology?
So look, at the level of, I'll stay within my purview. At the level of supporting research and discovery on ways to advance a wide variety of forms of energy, including solar and so on, that is something that is going to continue to do that. As insofar as when there are large-scale projects, that depends on a whole complex set of factors as to the economic viability, the density of the project, or what needs to be done, et cetera. So I can't comment generically around that. But if you're asking the question, will we continue to support basic science that can advance and make a difference on all forms of energy? Because in the end, look, in the Office of Science, we support things that are very fundamental, like fundamental materials, fundamental catalysis, as an example, as a process. Those advances then permeate to a wide variety of applications, not just in energy, by the way. So that's our mission. We're going to continue to do that. And I love basic science because in the end, over long term, it turns out to be that you can support a myriad of applications that you never could understand at the time in which you were doing something that looked very esoteric.
I appreciate that answer and those worthy goals, but I'm afraid the president's budget betrays those values and those goals. Do you agree with Secretary Wright's claim that, quote, wind and solar energy infrastructure is essentially worthless when it's dark outside and the wind is not blowing?
Well, I mean, if the wind is not blowing, yes, the windmill is not producing any power.
But do you believe that the infrastructure is worthless when it's dark outside and the wind is not blowing, which is what the quote from the secretary said?
Look, I think the spirit of it is in a grid, like you have to treat the whole thing as a system, and there's a huge dependency of all those, of all those things. It's a very complex engineering system, and it's not easy to provide easy answers about the dependency of all these sources on a very complex machine, right?
I'll take that as you disagree with the secretary's
remarks.
No, I didn't say that.
But I didn't say that.
But I appreciate the answer, and I appreciate that I believe that you are serious about investing in science and technology. I just hope the rest of the administration listens more to some of the comments that you've made here. Thank
By
you.
the way, the secretary is a self-described science and tech geek and loves science.
Thank you. I yield back.